What's going on, guys, and welcome back to WWE Network and Show, where every single week I, Graham Jason Matthews, break down all the original programming that I watch on the WWE Network as well as on the E! Network, as today we're talking the Season 3 finale of Total Bellas Episode 10, Follow Your Heart. The big culmination of what this entire season has been built around, the in-ring return of Daniel Bryan, as well as John Cena and Nikki Bella. What decision will Nikki come to when it comes to her upcoming wedding? So this whole season has been one giant roller coaster, easily the most emotional season yet of the show. We kick things off with the Bellas throwing a party for Bryan for being cleared. Bryan talks about being cleared, what went through his head, what was going on, and the Twins even asked him, do you think that coming out of WrestleMania you'll be on a full-time schedule? And he even said, I'm not sure. They said, we'll find out at WrestleMania, we'll see how you do, and we'll determine from there. Obviously, watching this 3-4 months after it was taped, we are well aware by this point that Bryan is indeed on a full-time schedule by this point. The Bellas go off and do final touches for the wedding. Nikki can't believe it's finally come to fruition. Or is it? ... Cena can't make it to the final wedding preparations. He's out busy again. Cena has not been seen here on the show in several episodes. As I've said time and time again over the last number of weeks, he's been gone since episode 5 or 6. So he is once again not here. So the entire family arrives in New Orleans for WrestleMania 34 weekend. The Twins walk through fan access. They come across a miniature toy recreation of John Cena proposing to Nikki Bella at WrestleMania 33 last year. And she says that the last year has been the best life learning experience ever, from 33 to 34 weekend. John Cena and Nikki Bella arrive at the Hall of Fame, as do Brie and Bryan. Go through that whole ordeal. The entire Bella family goes out to eat. They enjoy themselves. Nikki Bella gets some flack for wearing a red beanie or something. And JJ, who was also there, calls her the Red Rocket, a visual I did not need to see. That does come into play a little later on, which is why I brought it up here. WrestleMania Sunday arrives. While backstage, Brie and Nikki are walking through the hallways of the same arena that Bryan main evented 4 years earlier in New Orleans over WrestleMania 30 weekend when he main evented and won the World Championship. So Bryan drives by and grabs the Red Rocket hat, as he calls it, right off of Nikki's head and wears it himself, which is pretty funny. He admits that the last 3 years not being in the ring have been super hard for him. And Brie helps him with his hair before he goes out and encourages him just to go out there and soak in the moment, look out into the crowd and enjoy yourself. Bryan's like, I was already planning on doing that anyway. We get this great emotional video package of everything that Bryan has been through, from retiring or to winning the world title to retiring to coming back into the ring and all that whole, the whole shtick, the whole 9 yards. Because these shows did cover Bryan's rise and subsequent fall from the ring. Total Divas covered the entire thing back in season 1 or 2 when he won the World Championship over WrestleMania 30 weekend. Total Bellas has really been built around Bryan retiring from wrestling 2 years ago and how he was dealing with it and everything that came after the fact. Anyway, so Bryan said that he's happy to be doing what he loves again as soon as he steps in the ring. In typical Daniel Bryan fashion, he gets attacked from behind as soon as the bell rings, so nothing new there. Brie even sees how happy he is going in there and doing what he loves. And Bryan says, it feels like a gift to be back in the ring doing what I love. And ultimately, him and Shane McMahon did defeat Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens in that tag team match to a great reaction. Was not the night's best match, but it was still very entertaining and surreal to see Daniel Bryan back in the ring. When Bryan gets backstage, he sees a picture of Birdie Joe watching him on screen. His mother was taking care of Birdie Joe that day during WrestleMania Sunday, and Brie shows him the picture of Birdie watching Daniel Bryan wrestle, and he just breaks out in tears at the sight of his own daughter watching him wrestle, which he never thought he would see the day of that happening. And Bryan says you have to fight for your dreams and all this other stuff. So again, a very emotional, great, good feel comeback story for Daniel Bryan back in the squared circle. A few days after the fact, Brie and Bryan go out for dinner to celebrate their 4-year anniversary, because remember, they did get married on the Friday after WrestleMania 30, 4 years earlier. I don't think they're still in New Orleans by this point. They might be. But they do go out for dinner to celebrate the anniversary. While at dinner, Bryan gets Brie some great earrings to kind of replace the ones that she lost that were from her dad. So Brie loves the gift. While at dinner, Nikki calls Brie on the phone, like texts her like a million times, and then calls her and basically says, then Brie puts it on fucking speakerphone for the cameras. But Nikki says, I think we're going to have to call off the wedding. And she's not really sure what's going on, but she's like, I think I'm going to have to call off the wedding, and I'm about to move back to San Diego by myself. So Brie and Mama Bella, being the very supportive family members that they are, go fly out to see Nikki, help her move out of San Diego, or go back to San Diego, moving out of John's house. Nikki says that she thinks that she needs to work on herself moving forward. John Cena initially gave her a few days to think things through and really decide whether this is really something she wanted to do in calling off the wedding. But that's exactly the problem. Nikki feels pressured and that you can't really put a time limit on how she's going to think things through and whether the wedding should be called off or postponed. John Cena would be obviously open to it being postponed, but Nikki's not really sure because she doesn't want to put a time limit on it. She's not really sure how long it's going to take to figure herself out. So she's confused and everything else. She doesn't exactly know how to feel about after seeing John Cena's tweets, which are basically some motivational messages saying that how life can be very great at times and then very hard at times, kicking you right in the balls at certain points after encountering certain things, and you gotta just learn to push through, blah, blah, blah. So she's not really sure how to react to seeing that on Twitter, just because she knows John is a very private person. But Brian brings up a great point. I mean, this fucking girl just dropped him right before their wedding day, right before they were about to get married. So how do you think he's gonna feel? You know what I mean? She realizes that he's hurting. But she also realizes it's going to be hard for her too. So she goes back to the house the first night there without John Cena. And it was a hard night that she admits to Brie Bella that she doesn't want to hurt him. So anyway, Brie and Nikki go out to the beach together. They bring wine with them in typical Bella's fashion. Nikki admits that she told John Cena everything that's been bothering her recently. And it felt good to kind of get all of that off her chest. Nikki says that, or John Cena asked her, is there anything that you need from me? And Nikki said, apparently to him, the only thing I need from you is that I need you to let me go. And she admitted that she's moving out, and Brie was surprised by that, and she asks her, like, what's next? And Nikki said, yeah, I'm moving out. But she also doesn't want to let her fans down, because, of course, the whole Nina contingency, everyone that's been following the Bellas over the last 5, 6, 7 years, have been following this relationship and really want it to work out, blah, 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 blah. And Nikki's like, the best thing I can tell you is that if you don't feel like you're making the right decision, don't do it. So don't go through with it just because that's what other people want. You have to do what's best for yourself. And she even admitted here that she has not felt like herself in a very long time, and that you have to follow your heart. You have to follow your heart. You got to do what makes you happy. And that's her 2 cents in the entire situation. That's her message. That's the moral of the story here with Nikki Bella calling off the wedding, that you got to do what's best for you first and foremost before you can do what's best for other people. So anyway, Brie consoles her and gets her a best friend jacket, like it says. Like if you put the jackets side by side, it spells out best friend and a heart. So it's very corny, but Brie thinks that it's a funny joke to kind of ease the mood a little bit. So anyway, they wear the jackets as they walk off, and they plan to hang out all summer to kind of keep Nikki company in this kind of otherwise tough time. And that closes out Season 3 of Total Bellas. Like I said, a real roller coaster ride from Episode 1 to Episode 10. The show is indeed coming to an end for now. Total Divas is back September 19th, we were told. So we got about a month and a half before I bring back my Total Divas reviews for Season 8. But in the meantime, though, I do have my reviews up on Ms. and Mrs., airing every Tuesday on the USA Network. So stay tuned for that throughout the week here on the channel. I will be continuing to break down that show, as well as whatever's airing on the network after Raw and whatever airs after Raw on the network. I will be breaking down here on Network and Chill as well. So anyway, guys, thank you for checking out this edition of WWE Network and Chill. Be sure to like the video, comment on the video, share the video, and subscribe to the channel for more content. We will be back at some point this week with a Wrestle Rant video, WWE Network and Chill, Wrestle Rant radio excerpts. There's really no set schedule right now. I really only do things whenever I have the time. But I do think that my ECW Living Dangerously 1998 review should be up by tomorrow on Tuesday, so stay tuned for that. But until then, guys, have a great rest of your week. I'm Graham G. Matthews, and I'll catch your ass down the road.